If I was walking on the street and I just showed you my phone and there was a score of 29-9 and it was Atlanta versus Miami, I'm pretty sure that all of you would have thought that the Falcons just played the Dolphins. This was a baseball game. This actually happened. 2020. Just don't be surprised by anything because that wasn't the only beatdown yesterday. The Brewers beat the Tigers 19-0. So we're going to go ahead and break down both of those games today. We also have Trevor Bauer talking a lot of smack to the Cubs. I was texting him after the game. He is feeling himself. The Mets get their biggest W of the year. And then also before we start talking baseball, I just want to say thank you all so much for your amazing support. We just passed 230,000 subs. We're trying to get to 250K before the season ends. But without further ado, let's start talking baseball.
At second, the pitch, breaking ball, fly ball, left center, in the alley, a long run, nobody gets there. It lands on the grass, rolls on the track, and the A's have won it. A long walk-off single for Ramon Laureano. In to score for the Athletics is Tommy La Stella.
Ramon Laureano strikes back. You remember towards the beginning, maybe even the middle of the season, Ramon took on the entire Astros organization. He was beaten 3 times, and then he charged the dugout where the Astros bench coach, I don't even remember his name, I think it was Alex Cintrone or something like that. He hid behind 3 different Astros players, had nothing to say once Ramon actually charged him. But Ramon does get the last laugh as the A's are still in first place in that division. But moving on, let's go ahead and talk about it right now. The elephant that is in the room for all of you Miami Marlin fans, you knew that it was coming. 29-9, Adam Duvall 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Freddie Freeman had 6 RBIs. Acuna had 5 RBIs. Dansby Swanson was driven in 5 different times. And also a little side note about Adam Duvall. Duvall is the first Braves player ever to have multiple 3 home runs in a career. Not just one season. No Braves player has ever had multiple 3 home run games in their entire career. We're talking about Hank Aaron. We're talking about Eddie Matthews. So many legendary players have come through the Braves organization, and Adam Duvall is the first to ever do it. Now, I also want to say the Marlins did win this series. A lot of people are forgetting about that. And also, Jazz Chisholm, he had a huge day. He had a triple, his first MLB home run. This kid is the real deal. On the other side, their pitching did suffer quite a lot. Jordan Yamamoto, their starting pitcher, had to throw 94 pitches in relief. So this one single loss is going to put the rest of the season in limbo. How are the Marlins going to dictate who pitches when and where? Because so many pitchers had to be used yesterday. This could put their entire season at risk, and if they make the playoffs, you got to tip your cap because it is an uphill climb for the rest of the way. You thought that we were done with offense? Let's go ahead and just roll the tape and see how exactly the Brewers scored 19 runs. I don't know if the balls are juiced or maybe all of these guys are just excited for fall weather again. I don't know what it is. Again, it's 2020. Don't be surprised by anything.
It would be the first in Milwaukee Brewers franchise history. That one is shipped to left. And
Corbin Burnes feels good about himself, and the hit parade continues. A little bit more than the Brewers. Potentially easy 1-2-3 inning, and look out.
Tyrone Taylor, goodbye.
The Brewers scored a bunch of runs, blah, blah, blah. We all know that it was a high-scoring game. To me, the star of the game was the starting pitcher for the Brewers. He goes 7 innings, 1 hit, 11 strikeouts. Corbin Burnes is coming out of nowhere and has been one of the nastiest starting pitchers in all of baseball. He has a 1.99 ERA and he has 64 strikeouts in 45 innings. Those are relief pitcher numbers. Now, if you don't remember, Corbin Burnes was one time a relief pitcher, so he has the stuff. He throws 96 with movement. I mean, I can tell you right now because we faced Burnes a couple days ago. You guys know I'm an Indians fan, even though I got the Orioles hat on today. Corbin Burnes is nasty, and I think that him and Brandon Woodruff are very underrated as one of the best duos in all of baseball if you're talking starting pitchers. Now, yesterday we had a pretty awesome starting pitching duel. We had the Reds facing the Chicago Cubs. What does that mean? You have Trevor Bauer versus Yu Darvish. Yu Darvish is the front runner at this moment. Well, at least he was before Trevor Bauer came in and shoved it up the you-know-what of the Cubs. He was talking a lot of smack. I'll get to that in just a second because those are his words, not mine. He goes 7 innings, 0 earned runs, 0 walks, and 10 strikeouts. That's the first time in 6 years that a Reds pitcher has done that. And then the only offense that they needed, because Bauer and the bullpen were so good, was a home run from Mike Moustakas. So if you missed the game, I just showed you the highlights. Now, if you missed the press conference from Trevor Bauer after the game, you do not want to miss this. This guy can be defined in one single word: entertainment. And that's exactly what the game of baseball needs. Everyone's favorite player should be Trevor Bauer. I mean, maybe if you're facing him, he's not fun to face, but if he's on your squad, he's the most entertaining player in all of baseball.
They were yelling at me all night, so it was fun. It was kind of funny, you know. I got to give them props. They actually chirped all night and yelled at me all night. Normally, when they get behind, they shut up real quick. So I really got to give them props. I mean, even when I got taken out, they were yelling bye at me. So I gave them a nice little wave and some other stuff, because it was impressive that you can chirp at someone after you shoved it up your ass for 7 2/3 innings. So props to them on that.
Yo, everyone go subscribe to my man Trevor. He's so close to 100K. Trevor Bauer on YouTube. Do it. The baseball gods have answered all of your prayers. Oh my gosh. Glaber's back. DJ LeMahieu is raking. Debbie Garcia is a young stud. He's also a 5'9" king, so he's representing all of the guys, including myself, that are 5'9" and below. So they get a big-time W, as they needed it, because the Blue Jays are their division rival. They're now 2 games back with 17 games remaining on the schedule. So do the Yankees make a push for it? I really think that they have the squad, and I didn't realize that there were only 17 games remaining. So Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton, James Paxton, and they're going to have to come back ASAP if they're going to make a difference. Maybe the last week of the season, maybe the last 5-7 games. It's a 60-game schedule. Anything can happen. Do not discount the Yankees. I'm telling you, they've been playing like garbage, but they have the pieces. They just have to use them properly. Another huge win from a New York team, the New York Mets. They storm back. They were down 5-1, and they take what is rightfully theirs. They should not lose to a team like the Orioles when the offense does what they did yesterday. McNeil homers for the 4th time in 4 games. Michael Conforto is hotter than the hot magma at the center of Earth's core. And then late game home runs from Jimenez and Pete Alonso really seals the deal. So the Mets are now 2 games back of the Marlins for 8th place. Remember, the top 2 teams in every single division, and realistically the top 8 teams from each league will make the playoffs. The only problem is the Brewers and the Rockies are ahead of them, and they're both actually playing decent as of late, so it's going to be a crazy race to the finish. We have the Mets versus the Brewers, the Rockies, the Marlins. If they start to fade because of that wipeout, it's going to be tough. So the Mariners and the Giants game was over by the 3rd inning. The Giants absolutely dominated. They are now 23-21, 2 games above 500. As Mike Yastrzemski and Evan Longoria go off for 3 RBIs each. Tyler Anderson has one of his best starts of the season. He's really weird. He throws a gem, then he stinks it up. He throws a quality start, and then he's a bum yet again, so I can't really put my finger on Tyler Anderson. But the Giants, 2 games above 500 on a 5-game winning streak. I never would have thought that this would have happened, but again, it's 2020. Just expect the crazy stuff to happen. The Diamondbacks have truly pushed the Dodgers to the limits in this series. Now, the advantage still goes to the Dodgers because luckily they get yet another W. They win 6-4. Betts and Kike, they homer in the first 2, and then the Diamondbacks try to battle back, but then Chris Taylor and AJ Pollock, they single to shut them up for good. The Diamondbacks are supposed to be better on paper, and they're actually playing super hard. They are giving the best team in baseball a hard time. They just can't get over that hump and steal the W's that they need. I think that was the nail in the coffin. I think their season's over. So all of you Royals fans and White Sox fans and Twins fans, you guys are all having a great time on Twitter. We're going to go ahead and roll the Royals game because honestly, it makes me sick the way that the Indians have been playing the last couple days. Roll the tape. Danny Duffy was sick, and yeah, GG.
Tana. And Duffy gets out of it. That was a strike.
2. Swung on, line sharply. That's a base hit.
Line to right field, and that's another multi-hit game for Olivares. And how about that? Nicky Lopez goes the other way, and the Royals are going to take a 3-0 lead.
go ahead and talk about the White Sox right now before we get into the Rockies and the Padres game, because the White Sox, with that Indians loss, they steal sole possession of first place in the AL Central. James McCann, he is so good, and he's your backup catcher. I am extremely jealous because we have Roberto Perez, Sandy Leon, Austin Hedges. None of them can really hit, yet you have one of the best hitting catchers as your backup. So James McCann homers twice in an 8-1 victory over the Pirates. And how could you do that? We all know yesterday was Roberto Clemente Day. If you're going to take your foot off the pedal just once, give it to the Pirates on Roberto Clemente Day. That was kind of sad, to be honest with you guys. They really did not show up. So the final two games from yesterday, we have Zach Davies of the Padres getting his 5th consecutive win as Mitch Moreland hits his first home run as a member of the Slam Diego Padres. Will Myers and Jake Cronenworth continued their best seasons in Major League Baseball. This is just the first season for Jake Cronenworth, so I can't wait to see how high his ceiling actually is. They get the W yesterday, and then Mad Dog Russo. I don't know if you guys know who he is. He's this man. He's always yelling. I don't think a lot of the millennials aren't really fans of this guy, but maybe the older audience really still enjoys his breakdowns on everything. But he says the Padres are not a threat because they don't have experience. I'm sorry, have you watched the Padres play this year? Their offense doesn't care about experience. Their offense doesn't care about your feelings. They're coming out and they're raking. They're breaking all of the unwritten rules. They'll be fine. And then last but not least, I think that this is another nail in the coffin game. The Angels at the Rangers. The Angels lose their second game in a row as Gallo and company get a 7-3 W. Isaiah Kiner Falefa, he goes 4 for 4. Every time I see that name, I'm thinking that it's falafel, but these are falafels, not Isaiah Kiner Falefa. So I bring that up because it's kind of fun. So that does it for today's MLB recap. I know some of you might have been confused, like, whoa, are you sure this wasn't an NFL recap because football's back? Nope, these were baseball games, 29-9 and 19-0, and then Trevor Bauer is talking a lot of smack. I had a lot of fun in today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, slap a like on this one, subscribe, and follow all of my social medias, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, all at Fuzzy from YT. But enjoy this day in MLB history and stay safe.
Plays Roger Clemens up in Boston. And he strikes out Leday for the 3rd time. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
Most here at Yankee Stadium.
Another strikeout, and that will create a high for Pedro Martinez with 17 strikeouts.
1-2 on Mike Lowell, and Johnson fires, swung on and missed a fastball at 97 miles per hour. And on this, his 37th birthday, Randy Johnson becomes the 12th pitcher in Major League history to strike out 3,000.